my fellow freedom lovers, sovereign thinkers. Thank you for tuning in to the LL3 podcast. My name is Craig, transmitting from the beautiful swampy Magnolia, South Florida, and today's date is Monday, February 15th, 2021. Yes, President's Day, the eve, that is. And, got a nice little crowd, and they're starting to die out, which is all well and good. I'm along the New River, hanging out in the heart of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Looks like there's some drizzles here and there, so I'm gonna wing it. I might just do a little switch, but I'll try to see how far I go. Oh, yes. So the tyranny parade continues in Washington, D.C. and all around the world. So I'm not going to digress that, but I'm going to cut to the chase. This one here came from the Epoch Times. And it says here, Pelosi, top Democrats renew call for gun control. This is by Masuma Haki. This is what they have to say. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said on Sunday, the third anniversary of the Parkland school shooting in Florida, that Democrats will enact stricter gun control measures to ensure that students are safe from gun violence. Okay, so their main objective is saying, we will take care of you. We're the government. Just to let you folks know. And I'm not mocking the horrific event that happened 3 years ago. Okay, so just to make that clear to everyone, especially for the new listeners, but a lot of my regulars understand where I'm coming from here. I will continue on. Pelosi said her party will not rest until shootings like the one that took place in Parkland are permanently curbed. On this solemn remembrance, Democrats join the American people to renew our commitment to our unfinished work to ensure that no family or community is forced to endure the pain of gun violence. We will not rest until all Americans in schools, in the workplace, in places of worship, and throughout our communities are safe once and for all, said Pelosi in a press statement. But here's the thing. Most of these facilities occur where? At a firearm-free zone, including Parkland. I can say I live in Florida and Broward County. So I'll continue on here. And I did talk about it a couple days ago on Saturday pertaining to this matter. And I could just leave it at that. Check out my past episode. I'll lay down the facts on that as well. So on the laws that never fulfilled, that were never fulfilled by the alleged shooter Nicholas Cruz. I'll say that by the court of law. He went through the remedies. He was considered mentally defective, but he still got his firearm. Think about it, folks. Let that sink in. But as I said, my episode I did on Saturday pertaining to this, I explained it all on the law proceedings. So I will continue on. On February 14, 2018, a former student opened fire at Parkland's Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, killing 17 people, including 14 students, and injuring 17 others. The gunman Nicholas Cruz has been expelled from Stoneman because of a history of violence and mental health issues. Leslie Hollywood, who represents Rally for Rights gun rights group out of Colorado that advocates for Second Amendment rights, and she blames the local government for the Parkland shooting because local officials failed to enforce the gun safety laws already on the books. I can say on a local government, 18-96, 5-day waiting period. Business days, that'd be exact. On the Broward County ordinance, it's called local. And of course, the pieces that should have been put in place already prevent him from buying a gun and were not ever put into place. And the people I blame for that is not the gun owner or the NRA. I blame the government, said Hollywood, in a 2018 demonstration in Colorado. And she's right. Cruz was well known to Florida's Broward County law enforcement, with officials have been calling called to his home at least 37 times before he carried out the mass murder at Stoneman. Chairwoman of the House Oversight and Reform Committee, Carolyn Maloney, recently introduced a gun control package to try to prevent type of mass shooting that occurred at Marjory Stoneman Douglas. The package includes the Gun Tracking and Crime Prevention Act, which sounds like more like a very Orwellian thing here, right? The Gun Show Loophole Closing Act, the NICS Review Act, the Firearm Risk Protection Act, also known as Red Flag Laws. Treasonous, illegal, unacceptable. A lot of these bills are. The Handgun Trigger Safety Act. I'm going to do a little looking, but I'm going to say no across the board. Especially the Firearm Risk Protection Act on a federal level is nothing more than blasphemy. This is a crisis we must act now. I'm hopeful that President Biden and Vice President Harrison, and with Democratic majorities in the House and Senate, we can and will deliver meaningful change. President Biden has made clear his commitment to getting guns off the streets and fixing the broken background check systems that allowed weapons of war into the wrong hands for years, said Maloney at a virtual press conference last week. I'm definitely going to look at these myself, and see I may do a show on it in the very near future. Fred Gottenberg, who became a gun control activist after his 14-year-old daughter Jamie was killed in the Stoneman mass shooting, praised Maloney's gun control effort in the recent set of bills proposed by the House Democrats. Gottenberg made clear that those who oppose stricter gun control law, that he rejects the Second Amendment argument. Well, it's not the Second Amendment. It's the Bill of Rights culture, period, including the right of privacy. Based on these particular bills. Some of them I'm very familiar with. I'm going to review them for sure. The truth is the reality of gun violence and gun safety is not a Second Amendment conversation. No, it's not. And I agree. It's a crime issue. Okay? It's a crime issue. So don't try to play projection, especially around me. It is not. It is a public health conversation, said Gottenberg. Now working with Democratic Senate and Biden-Harris administration, we will enact these and other life-saving bills and deliver the progress that the American community and the American people deserve and demand, said Pelosi. You never asked me. You never asked me. And like I said before, folks, look up the Marjory Stoneman Douglas Massacre Committee report. I'm just paraphrasing, but type that in, look it up, 500 pages long. It tells you the incompetence from the resource officers, a lot of contradictions, even from Scott Israel and many others. And if you want to hear my past report I did on Saturday in reference to Parkland, go ahead, do it. You can write the bill, you can write the law, the statute, all that down. I just added to it. That was from an old letter I sent to the city of Fort Lauderdale. You can write them down, look at it yourselves. Especially, Nicholas Cruz is considered mentally defective. If all those laws in the books failed, now you want to make it tougher for everybody else, to natural law citizens or natural law-abiding people. It may sound pretty, but the fine print is horrendous. The Extreme Protection Law violates due process. It's called a Bill of Attainder, illegal under our U.S. Constitution, Article 1, Section 9, Clause 3. Just like the impeachment of President Trump. Those two indictments were null and void. And there are people who that lost loved ones there too think differently. It's not being arrogant or anything like that. We've been living in a dangerous world for a long time. And a lot of folks have forgotten, they haven't learned the damn lessons from Columbine. Read their stories, and I'm like, what the hell is this? History repeats itself, folks. And it's downright disgusting. But you're going to try to make illegal laws and say it's for our own safety? It's called tyranny. And a lot of people haven't learned, with that mindset, haven't learned a damn thing, the lessons from 9/11. Firearm-free zones don't work. I dare call it treason. And I don't give a damn if you agree with me or not. Next one here came from the Big League Politics. I appreciate their work. Yeah, it may be Republican and all that, but I appreciate their work. It says here, globalist oligarch Bill Gates calls for first world countries to replace meat with 100% synthetic alternative. And this is by Richard Moorhead. Bill Gates made his most direct call for banning the consumption of meat in the United States and the Western world in an interview with the MIT Technology Review on Sunday. So no, I don't think the poorest 80 countries will be eating synthetic meat. I think all rich countries should move to 100% synthetic beef. So he's going to tell me how to live and how to wipe my own rear end. We get used to the taste difference and claim that they're going to make it taste better over time. Eventually, that green premium is modest enough that you can sort of change the behavior of people or use regulation of totally shift demand. So for meat in the middle income and above countries, I do think it's possible, but it's one of those ones where, wow, you have to track of it every year and see, and the politics are challenging. There are all these bills that say it got to be called basically lab garbage to be sold. They don't want us to use the beef label. Gates has rapidly become the single greatest owner of farmland in the United States, a development that is thought to be part of the scheme to crack down on American cattle ranching and the raising of livestock. Merely by restricting the use of his land for cattle ranching, Gates can single-handedly raise the price of meat, restricting it away from the poorest citizens of the United States and the world. Gates admitted his own carbon footprint is absurdly high, and his new climate change theme book going on the breathless lecture on the public on the need to eliminate meat from their diet in the name of the environment. Of course, it was all but ensured that meat will be readily available for the powerful elites in Gates' vision of an Orwellian future. Only the everyday citizen or peasant, in his view, will be compelled to replace meat with synthetic lab-grown experiments. I do believe in freedom of choice, not conscription or involuntary servitude. Mr. Masturbating Gates wants things his way. He believes the whole world should revolve around him. This man is so out of touch. He thinks we should all kiss the floor he walks on. I'm not going to tell people what to do. There's folks out there I know I'm good friends with are plant-based individuals. I'd rather hear honorable discussion and the pros and cons of everything. And I know, too, folks out there, like they say, human beings are mainly omnivores. Okay? And they shouldn't only have a certain percentage of meat. The rest should be vegetables, fruits, and all that. And I do eat meat, but I'm like trying to get more vegetables in my system. I need that. We all need that balance now and then. Those are the areas people got to start looking at. Always want to better ourselves? Absolutely. But we want science-based facts. Every culture in the world is different. But to Bill Gates, he wants to be one of the king of the technocrats. Soylent Green. Interesting, right? Synthetic stuff, Soylent Green, of course. That's why I never bought these narratives for a long time, because the truth of the matter is, it's nothing more than have someone believe they're geniuses. They're smarter than everybody else. They made all this money, got all this land, which I own land too, of course. You're nothing, Mr. Gates, but a Orwellian sap. And I say that in good faith. Well, I'm going to do one more here. This is about what happened. This is from the MRC Newsbusters. Came out today. ABC, CBS prop up Cuomo's corruption cover-up of nursing home deaths. This is by Nicholas Fondacaro. What to say about this? In a Monday press conference, corrupt New York Governor Andrew Cuomo spun a web of lies and misinformation about his administration's cover-up of nursing home deaths due to COVID-19. Blaming everyone from President Trump to nursing home staff, Cuomo refused to take responsibility as he openly lied about his administration's actions. Great song for him. Everyone But You by the Fenwicks. Everyone's a fascist, everyone's a fraud, everyone's a phony, everyone but you, everyone but you. All right, I'll just stop there. Cuomo refused, despite how blatant and easily disapprovable his claims were. ABC and CBS refused to give him the Trump treatment and fact-check anything he said because they're bigots. They have the mindset of the KKK. That's right. Oh, media supremacy, right? Instead, we got correspondents like Carter Evans from the CBS Evening News who worked to prop up Cuomo's false claims. New York Governor Cuomo defended himself against charges that the state underreported of the death toll from nursing homes easily in the pandemic, but then tried to cover it up, Evans reported. He followed that up with the soundbite of Governor, I want everyone to know everything was done. Everything was done by the best minds and the best interest. I got a question for all you Cuomo lovers and haters out there. Can you say his father, Mario, is an altar boy compared to his son as governor? That's a good question. Let that sink in, okay? I'm not a fan of his father either, okay? So I'm just letting you know. So I'll continue on. What Evans claimed were the mere charges of a cover-up were, in fact, admitted to by one of Cuomo's aides. He refused to mention that Secretary Melissa DeRosa was caught on audio admitting to state Democratic lawmakers they tried to cover up the numbers to hide them from federal investigators. Over on ABC's World News Tonight, Good Morning America co-anchor Eva Pilgrim parroted Cuomo's suggestion that the numbers were only delayed. It only comes as New York's Governor Andrew Cuomo is addressing his handling of numbers of coronavirus deaths in nursing homes after his office conceded that it delayed tuning them over to state lawmakers. She lied to her interviews, and there's a report on Fox News on this matter. She also used sound bites to push Cuomo's false claims of disinformation being propagated by his administration. So you're saying the Attorney General for the state of New York's a bald-faced liar? I love it when tyrants fight against one another. However, I'm going to continue on here. Governor Andrew Cuomo, the void we created allowed disinformation, and that created more anxieties for the families of loved ones. What misinformation? The thing his aide admitted they did. At least Anna Thompson reported that much on NBC Nightly News through a rather weak way. Last week, revelations that one of the governor's top aides told Democratic state lawmakers nursing home data was delayed, saying we froze, fearing the numbers would use against us by the Trump administration, she said. Unfortunately, Thompson didn't push back on Cuomo's assertion that his administration informed state lawmakers their demand for numbers was being put on the back burner as they dealt with the Department of Justice. It was an outlandish claim that was easily disproven by how even Democratic lawmakers were describing the governor's actions as criminal. And on Fox News Channel special report, correspondent Brian Leanis reported that Democratic state lawmaker Ron Kim was calling Cuomo out for lying during a press conference. Leanis reported DeRosa told them the reason the administration withheld the data was for political reasons. That's not what we heard. That's not what she said. She even prefaced the whole thing by saying, I'm going to tell you the truth. This is the whole truth. Kim said in the soundbite. He's lying right now in today's press conference about sending notices to the Assembly and the Senate that we knew the Department of Justice investigation were not informed. That's good. At least she's standing up, so I can give her props on that. The networks didn't fact check Cuomo's ridiculous claim that COVID was only brought into nursing homes via facility staff, facility staff, and maintenance workers. Thanks to the Associated Press, we know 9,000 patients were sent back to their long care term facilities, killing nearly 15,000. This naked attempt to help a corrupt Democratic governor weather the storm was made possible because of lucrative sponsorships from Pacific Life on ABC and Liberty Mutual on CBS. Their contact information is linked so you can tell them about the terrible program they fund. CBS News has also asked people to text anchor Noah O'Donnell at his number 202-217-1107. Sorry about that. The transcript is below. Click and expand and react. And they have the address and all that too, so you could look for these yourself. The transcripts are all here. I'll read this one right here from Eva Pilgrim. It comes as New York's Governor Andrew Cuomo is addressing his handling of the number of coronavirus deaths in nursing homes as his office conceded that it delayed turning them over to state lawmakers. Governor Andrew Cuomo, the void we created allowing disinformation, and that created more anxiety for families and loved ones. So, that's what to say here. A transcript on that, and very similar to this one as well. So, I'll say this. Do everything by the book. If you thoroughly investigate, have it through the committees and so forth. I don't know how the New York Constitution is. But if you got to impeach them, do it right. And anyone else that's involved. Like some folks right now are considered liable for what they've done. It's unacceptable. You have a person like Governor Cuomo has the audacity to blame everyone else for his actions. He can't even stare himself in the mirror. I'll be honest, if something happened to Andrew Cuomo and he decides to come to Florida, you're not welcome, buddy. You're not welcome in my state. Don't even think about coming down here to visit. You will be called up by a lot of people, including folks from New York that live down here now. Don't bring your infectious garbage on the Sunshine State. You are not welcome. You're a decrepit individual. Based on your actions as governor, is condemning. Yes, and I'm judging you by your actions, Governor. As in your position, you're nothing more than a contemptuous man. You mean it just hurt? You hurt a lot of people. I never bought your rhetoric from the very beginning. So if you're smart, you repent if there's a case against you, and you have the right to defend yourself. But your defense better back it up. So I've seen some of the crap you said in the past and blame the President Trump for everything. And I'm not even a worshiper of him either. So man up. If you love to dish it out on folks, you better learn to receive. That's all I gotta say about Andrew Cuomo. And that will be it. I thank everyone for listening. Plus, feel free to download and share us throughout your social media networks. If you have any questions, comments, or something interesting you want to check out, whatever you do, please send your correspondence to Decorum. Furthermore, I'll leave the footnotes of these articles on my Spreaker page. And if you want to contact me, hit me at LookYLuckNumbers03@protonmail.com. Or if you want to send some donations, you can hit me at paypal.me or cash.app/LookYLuckNumber3. I encourage you folks, if you want to support Epoch Times, Big League Politics, and Newsbusters by donations, I encourage it. That's what the information war is about, my friends. We're not multimillionaires by any means. We're just, one of us are working class individuals that want to spread the truth out for you folks and give us our honorable viewpoint to the best of our abilities. Once again, thank you for your time. Plus, always remember that demoniac resistance is healthy for the soul and can liberate humanity. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Keep on spreading the love, and may your guardian spirits be with you.